G'day and welcome to another big edition of the RDFNL Footy Show. Thanks to our friends at Ontime Delivery Solutions. My name's Yeendy. I'm joined by Doyle, the RDFNL Operations Manager, who has been put through the ringer this week. Coming off the bench to give us a chop out, mate. It's starting to get pretty exciting with the upcoming round.
Yeah, looking forward to a big week of footy, Yeendy. It's as you said, the RDFL season's really starting to take shape, and the ladder's nice and tight, and there's some crucial matches this weekend.
Before we start talking about the games coming up this weekend, you touched on the ladders. We did have the announcement this week that we've got the finals locked in the bag with over at Clark Oval at Sunbury and Romsey. I think it's a pretty exciting time. Good to have the venues locked away.
Yeah, it is. It's something that we try and lock away about this time of the year, and all the club presidents filled out a survey towards the end of last year on how they wanted the finals to shape up in 2018, and that's been replicated by what we've decided upon. And the two venue final series is what we've been keen to pursue, and Clark Oval, we're happy that is our grand final venue, a neutral location, and I think it'll be a big crowd later on in the year.
Yeah, that's definitely right, mate. And you can safely look at those venues now, regardless of the weather and the traffic the grounds get. Those grounds will hold up just fine.
Yeah, we're pretty confident that we're going to have a ripping final series, but let's get into round 12.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And we've got some big games coming up, and we'll touch on Rockbank and Romsey. I think you're going to head out that way and have a bit of a squiz down at Ian Cowrie Reserve, a lovely venue out there, and not a bad ground out there too. This is going to be an interesting contest for Rockbank, who've come off a game where they would have wanted to win or felt like they probably should have won, and against a team like Romsey, who are coming off their best win of the year.
Yeah, well, Romsey had a resounding victory over Broadford, and as you said, Rockbank could have got the chocolates, led at three-quarter time against Lansfield, but run out of cattle by the sounds of things. So hopefully those injuries that impacted them late in the game don't carry over this week, and they can put a full side on the park and take it right up to Romsey.
Yeah, definitely right, mate. I think with Romsey, with Jack O'Sullivan, we talked about him earlier on in the week. He kicked 7 last week. He's coming into that sort of good form. This is a day where he could maybe even sort of kick 10 or something to that effect if he gets his confidence up and gets control of the midfield, because these are the grounds he loves playing well on, and Rockbank can be quite a physical side, and he's one of the more physical smaller players in the comp who loves to kick goals and win plenty of the hard ball.
Yeah, I think for Romsey, they're going to try and make hay while the sun shines at the moment and try and get those wins on the board, bank them for later in the year. So it's just another super important game for them against Rockbank this week.
For them, hopefully they can build up some confidence. They take on Diggers Rest in a few weeks' time. That is going to be their big game from round 1, which will be interesting. Speaking of the game that you went to, or going to, we'll look at the game that I'm going to, and it's Macedon and Riddle. These two have a great rivalry. I can't remember the last time Macedon actually beat Riddle twice in a season. This is a golden opportunity to do it. The first time you saw some RDFNL footy in your role, mate, was with this fixture back in round 1, and it was a cracker.
Yeah, it was the Pucker Up Cup, and Macedon just got the chocolates that day, just held on against Riddle. So I'm sure Riddle will be looking to fight back and get a win against Macedon this week. They're in great form. Macedon coming off a really good win last week at Wallen, so second versus fourth on the ladder, it's a mouth-watering contest. Yeah,
it should be an absolute ripping contest, and a lot of people around Clubland have actually, when you're talking about who you think they might win the premiership, they put Riddle as the team to beat this year, and I think with the scoreboard says that the Hawks gave them a really good push last week. Any other day, I think that's a pretty positive thing for the Hawks in terms of how they're sort of tracking, and the Bombers probably just needed a little bit of that shake up just to give them a bit of perhaps a bit of a reality check that they need to play some good footy, because they have been playing good footy in recent weeks, but it was a tough game in the end.
Yeah, and they didn't want to have an easy win going into this big match this week, so to have a competitive hit out against Woodend last week will hold them in good stead, and I think they're trying to go for 9 straight, so it's going to be pretty tough against the Cats this week, but it's going to shape up as a great contest.
Yeah, always a good venue to watch footy as well, and the big boys are in some pretty good form. You've got Liam Reid there from Riddle, Braden Allen in great form, and for the Cats, Tommy Waters has been in sublime form, so we'll look forward to seeing how that one goes. Broadford and Lansfield, another great game. The Tigers looking for 2 in a row, while Broadford looking for their maiden win of the season. Yeah, and Lansfield coming off a win last week, they'll be chock full of confidence and probably expected to beat Broadford, but Broadford, this is their chance hosting Tigers, and I'm sure they'll be putting every effort into getting the victory this week, and they would have had themselves primed for this contest for a while, I think. Yeah, definitely, and it should be just an enjoyable game to watch for those that get along for the day, because it's great. We've got this fixture, this round, we've got plenty of games where you go to and you'd be hard pressed to find a winner. I think all games are, barring the one, it's almost sort of a certainty. So I think this one here, I think fans will be intrigued and just to see who wins.
Yeah, and hopefully they get a big crowd up at Broadford, and it's a tight contest.
It's been what will be a tight contest. We've got Diggers Rest and Rupert's Wood. These two teams met just once already this year, where Rupo got up by 4 points, and Diggers Rest have, I think, have won every other game since and taken on all challenges. Rupo have got a few injuries at the moment to some of the key players, and the Burrows are still trying to find a settled lineup that is filled with tremendous depth. How do you see this one unfolding?
Yeah, as you said, Rupo have, they're a little bit light on for cattle at the moment, but there's a sign of a good side is still getting the wins when they're a little bit undermanned. So for them to keep racking up the victories is a really good sign for them, but it's going to be a pretty tough test against Diggers Rest this week, who are in really good form. So shapes up as one of the games of the round, along with Macedon and Riddle for sure.
Absolutely, mate. And speaking of another contender, when there's a lot riding on the line here, we've got Melton Centrals and Wood and Hescott. The two have met previously under lights, and we saw a great game of footy over at the GGO. The Hawks desperate for their first win in over a month, while Centrals, they've been more than competitive against some of the top sides in the competition. They're still mathematically a chance to win the finals here. How do you see this one unfolding? Yeah,
well, both of these sides are probably in the race for that 6th spot on the ladder, and whoever loses this game is going to find it pretty difficult to catch up to Romsey, I think. So massive contest here at Arnold's Creek. As you said, Wood End got the chocolates last time. It was a pretty tight contest, so can't see why it wouldn't be anything different. Wood End have had, as we spoke about earlier in the week, have had a pretty tough run the last month or so, but have shown that they're a pretty competitive side, and even though it'll be a tough contest, I'm backing them to get the win over Centrals this weekend.
Should be a great game. Get along to Arnold's Creek if you can. In the final game, Sunbury Kangaroos and Wallen. The Kangaroos, their form has fluctuated up and down a little bit due to player unavailability, injuries, and a bit of form. While Wallen, they would have been stung by last week's loss to Macedon. They'll be so determined to bounce back.
Yeah, they will be. Having said that, on paper it probably looks like Wallen would be the side to beat, but last time these two sides went up against each other, it was a really close affair, and Sunbury Kangaroos were the better side for much of that day. Wallen came home hard and got the win, but speaking to some people who were there that day, it was very much up in the air late in the day, so there's no reason why Sunbury Kangaroos can't take it right up to Wallen out at Eric Boardman, and they'll be smarting after their loss to Diggers Rest last week, only kicking 1 goal, so I'm sure they'll take it right up to Wallen.
Yeah, you're definitely right there, mate, and I think with the Kangaroos as well, they do play a bit better at home also. So I think it'd be a good challenge there for the Pies. If they want a good hard physical game, they're probably going to get it here, but saying that, they've still got the speed in the midfield to cause a few hiccups, so I think it'd be very interesting to see how they fare in this one. I think, again, just highlights just a great round that we've got, but this particular game will draw a bit of interest. And the Kangaroos, well, they're basically playing for their finals, and so if they lose this one, they could fall out of calculations. They'll want to throw the kitchen sink at this one. Yeah,
as I said, Romsey is starting to sort of push ahead in that 6th spot, and Wood End, Sunbury Kangaroos and Melton Centrals have got their work cut out to catch them now, so every game's a must-win for those 3 clubs, and this starts this weekend for the Kangaroos.
Certainly shapes up to be a great round of football. Thanks to our friends at Ontime Delivery Solutions. George, thanks so much for joining us and jumping off the bench and giving us a chop out this week, and hopefully all goes well for the rest of the season.
Not a problem, Yeendy. Look forward to it.